will now call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Texas Southmost College District. Trustees present, Mr. J.J. De Leon, Mr. Ruben Herrera. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Tony Zavaleta,
Present.
Ms. Eva Alejandro, Ms. Delia Sáenz, and myself. Also present is our president, Dr. Jesus Roberto Rodriguez. Absent is Ms. Alejandra Aldrete. And I'll call on Dr. Zavaleta for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Very good. Thank you.
Public comments? None? Thank you. Mr. President, you want to do your report?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, trustees. Since we last met, we started the fall 22 semester on August 22nd. The Friday and Saturday before the first day of class, we held the Scorpion Success Orientation for new students. The session was repeated, so new students only had the opportunity to attend either of the sessions. It was a great turnout. Students were treated to entertainment and received information regarding student resources on campus. I want to thank Chair Garza and immediate past Chair Herrera for joining us for the orientations, and it looked like the both of you had much fun as the students.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun to see so many students engaged.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was a lot of fun. It was very, very well done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, regarding our current fall enrollment, it stands at 7,665. It represents close to a 2% increase from last year, which is a very good indication that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, give me the number again, please.
7,665 total enrollment,
And the
you.
percentage?
approximately 2%.
That's wonderful.
Now, on August 24th, we held a press conference announcing our new partnership with the Space Channel CEO, Chad Malum, who joined us, Chair Herrera, Secretary Aldrete, and myself, to make this announcement of this collaboration. Space Channel will be producing stories from our studio in the South Building and have recruited several students to assist with the on-air and behind-the-scenes studio production work. Over 30 students expressed interest in interning with Space Channel. Space Channel has interviewed all interested students and have asked some of the students to submit an audition tape. We look forward to the opportunities this partnership brings to our students and to our college. Aside from the Space Channel press conference, which occurred during the first week of class, there were several other Welcome Week events held during the first weeks of the semester. Events included such as the Lifesaver Crew, which helped new students find their classrooms, the Flaming Hot Leaders, and I want to thank Secretary Aldrete for stopping by and supporting our students. We had the Welcome Week at the Rec 101, the Scorpion Spirit Picnic, Pan Dulce Pachanga, Stomp at the Rec Center, and many, many others. Between the first and the second week of the fall semester, we also held our second annual TSC Scorpion Classic Golf Tournament. I want to thank Chair Garza, TSC Foundation Chair Roy de los Santos, TSC Foundation members Manny Casanova and Dr. Nelly Cantu for joining in the fun on that day, and Mr. Tomlinson for helping us organize the event. I also want to recognize TSC Foundation Secretary Norma Hinojosa, who was not able to join us that day, but her contribution of her time in putting together the centerpieces and helping with the setup are truly appreciated. Our Scorpion Cafe is now open. We held a ribbon cutting on August 31st, where I was joined by Chair Garza, Secretary Aldrete, and immediate past Chair Herrera. We heard from not only the trustees, but from one of our student leaders, Samantha Leal, UMEX owner, Ernesto Escudero, and the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. I also want to recognize Trustee Delia Sáenz, who was unable to join us for the ribbon cutting, but did stop by later to tour and taste a little bit of the Scorpion Cafe. The cafe is a hit with our students. So on behalf of all of us, the students and the employees, thank you, trustees, for your vision of creating a space for our students to eat and for your support in the creation of the build-out of this space. So thank you. On September 1st, our award-winning procurement department held the third annual vendor and contract seminar titled A Guide to How to Do Business with TSC. Topics covered included vendor registration in Bonfire, e-sourcing procurement on bidding opportunities and contracting, and campus protocols regarding safety and security. I want to thank Chair Garza for attending the seminar and providing remarks to vendors and potential new vendors attending in person, as well as those that were online. I want to acknowledge Dr. Gisela Figueroa, Ms. Patricia Saldivar, Director of Procurement and Contracts, and the entire staff for organizing the event and for the work they do behind the scenes. I'm happy to report that all graduates of the respiratory care program successfully passed their licensure exam. The official National Board for Respiratory Care monthly report for the Respiratory Care Science Program for August 1st to the 29th of 2022 reporting period has been released. So what we have is our 9 students that graduated. All 9 students tested for their therapist multiple choice exam. 9 students are certified and registered for respiratory therapists. Please help me congratulate Program Director Isidro Ramirez III, the faculty, and Dean Pierce for this wonderful accomplishment. Well done. More good news. Our health professions program, diagnostic medical sonographer students tested in July and have passed the sonography principles and instrumentation physics exam. And 3 students took the OB/GYN specialty exam, and 1 took the ABD specialty exam. All students passed their board exams and are now registered sonographers by the American Registry for Diagnostic Medical Sonography. The program has met the 60% credential success rate required by the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs Joint Review Committee in Diagnostic Medical Sonography to maintain program accreditation. In August, 2 more students took the SPI exam, the OB/GYN exam, and have passed their board exams and are now certified by the American Registry for Diagnostic Medical Sonography. Please help me congratulate Dr. Ariel Villanueva, Program Director of Diagnostic Medical Sonography Program, the faculty, and Dean Pierce for this accomplishment.
Are they here?
Dr. Pierce?
Dr. Villanueva?
Dr. Pierce is here.
Dr. Pierce is up.
Yeah, we try to make it. They're working. A quick update on the
Thank you.
Police Academy. We've completed the 21-22 report. As you can tell, within the first pass rate, we're at 70% as total. Now, regarding the June test rate of the cohort that completed this past June, 13 of the 14 students passed in the first try at a 92.86%. The 14th student took the exam and passed, so we had a passing rate of 100%. The new cohort that started in July of 11 has started with 29 cadets. The academy is scheduled to be completed, and we'll have the graduations on December the 9th, and they are scheduled to be tested on December the 16th. We continue to implement the new requirements, continue to work with the students, and we're hopeful we'll have a good passing rate.
So, we are, how many people, 29 came into the cohort, and how many people are still in the cohort?
The 29.
29 out of 29.
Yes, sir.
How they doing?
I was told that they were doing remarkably well, that it was one of the best classes we had ever had. Final said we're just yesterday.
Well, we were told the same thing on this one's, and
We put our new criteria in place and we've stuck with it.
okay.
By criteria, do you mean for the students to enter the program?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Okay. On September the 8th, we hosted and I'll continue to keep the Board of Trustees informed with the progress of this academy as the semester progresses. On September the 8th, we hosted the BISD Early College High School P-TECH Leadership Cabinet. The cabinet includes the BISD administrators and principal, as well as TSC and other representatives working with the early college high school campuses. TSI data was reviewed as well as strategies to improve testing outcomes. Enrollment data was also reviewed for each high school enrolled at TSC this semester. Graduation data review also included projected graduates for the spring 2023. The guests were treated to the Scorpion Cafe smoothies, which they were a big hit. We had a very productive meeting and look forward to continuing to grow our dual credit early college high school and P-TECH student enrollment and truly appreciate our partnership with the Brownsville Independent School District. Student Life held a Remembrance Day ceremony on September the 9th at the Oliveira Student Service Center. Students from La Feria High School Honor Guard, Brownsville Chief of Police, and TSC alumna Felix Sauceda were our special guests. Music instructor Victor Martinez played taps following a moment of silence. I want to thank Chair Garza for attending the ceremony, and I also want to thank the Student Life for organizing the event.
It was very, very nice, very nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. On September 9th, in the evening, we attended the 212th Aniversario de la Independencia de México event hosted by El Cónsul de México in Brownsville, Juan Carlos Cuevega. The event was held on our campus at the Set B Lecture Hall with a reception held in the courtyard prior to the program. We enjoyed the Grito de Independencia and the music of El Mariachi Siete Leguas. We appreciate the partnership with the Mexican Consul and thank him for extending the invitation to us. Thank you, Chair Garza and Secretary Aldrete for attending the event. Also yesterday, Student Life hosted a student pantry food drive at the North and South Hall courtyard from 10 to 1 p.m. Staff were on hand collected non-perishable food to add to the pantry. TSC will continue to collect non-perishable food to add to the food pantry, which will be located at the Liner Building. So if anyone is interested in donating food, please contact Dr. Armando Ponce. The food pantry is made possible by the grant from the Valley Baptist Legacy Foundation, which provides funding to purchase food from the RGV Food Bank. We anticipate the food pantry opening in October. Students will fill out a registration form and order form to request what they need. I want to thank the Valley Baptist Legacy Foundations for making this possible and our grants and Student Life staff for putting this together. It is going to be a great resource for our students. Our club soccer season begun. We traveled to McAllen this past Saturday, September the 10th, to witness the TSC Scorpions soccer team defeat the South Texas College 10-1 during our season opener.
Actually, it was 11-1, but we got robbed. 11-0, but we got robbed. We got robbed.
Yeah, they scored a goal, I think, like with 30 seconds remaining, but fuera de lugar, offside. So, but the score was 10-0, and that was our season opener. I want to thank Chair Garza and immediate past Chair Herrera for attending the game. We were also joined by several faculty and staff. We look forward to another strong season. Our next game, this coming Saturday, September the 17th, is here on campus as the TSC Scorpions play against Mr. Luis Villarreal's alma mater, Trinity University. We look forward to seeing you there. The game starts at 3 p.m.
Oh, I wanna see what color you're gonna wear.
Now, this week marks our annual University Week, hosted by the Office of Enrollment Management Service for students who plan to continue their education after TSC and pursue a bachelor's degree. Texas universities were invited, and the representatives were on campus this week to share information on their admissions process, requirements, and acceptance rate. 10 universities were scheduled daily throughout the week from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. For example, on Monday, we had A&M College Station, A&M Kingsville, and Texas Women's University. On Tuesday, we had Texas Women's University, the University of Houston, Victoria, University of Houston, College of Pharmacy. Wednesday, we had UTRGV, UTSA, Western Governors University, Texas A&M International. And on Thursday, today, we had Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I want to thank Student Service Leadership, Mr. Rene Villarreal, Vanessa Vasquez, and the Director of Enrollment Management Service, Carolina Reina, for organizing this event. Yesterday, Workforce Training and Continuing Education Division hosted a breakfast meeting connecting non-traditional students to the workforce and provided information on the workforce training programs. Representatives from schools in our service area attended the meeting at the iTech Art Gallery. The discussion targeted those students who may have dropped out or stopped out and have not completed their high school diploma or are at risk of dropping out. Short-term industry credentials training programs were discussed. I want to thank Dr. Kyle, Dr. Flashman, and staff for organizing this event and for the great dialogue that was held with these schools. I look forward to continuing to explore additional ways to partner with our area school districts. As shared with them, we used to say, and we continue to say, TSC is here to serve the entire family. So we're looking to explore all the possibilities available with our school district partnerships. At this time, I would like to call on Mr. David Tomlinson to provide an update on the TSC Foundation.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and President Rodriguez for allowing me a few minutes to advise what is new with the foundation. Since we last met, the TSC Foundation Board of Directors had a meeting on August the 24th of 2022. Aside from normal business that is usually conducted at these meetings, we did have a few items that I'd like to advise on this evening. First of all, we had a check presentation from RGV Lead. Their executive director, Mr. Luis Rodriguez, who is the current executive director, but he's also past TSC alumni, had contacted us about making a $5,000 donation towards the foundation with a $5,000 match from the TSC Foundation, which had been approved previous to that. So we did have the check presentation on that day. We also had a nomination and appointment of Dr. Nereda Nelly Cantu, who is the current Brownsville ISD Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations. And she hit the ground running by coming and spending the day with us on that Saturday at the golf tournament. We spoke briefly on that day, and she's really excited about rolling up her sleeves and assisting TSC and the foundation as well. On the same day, the TSC Foundation Board of Directors, followed by a brief presentation by Mr. Rene Villarreal, AVP of Student Services, and Ms. Vanessa Vasquez, the Executive Director of Enrollment and Academic Support Services, the approval of the 2022-23 academic school year request of $275,000 towards student scholarships for traditional side of the house. So congratulations to TSC students that there's going to be some additional funding for scholarships coming this year to help them keep their dreams alive of receiving a great education here at TSC. On August the 27th, the much anticipated second annual Scorpion Classic took place at Rancho Viejo Golf Course and Resort. As previously mentioned, this tournament had sold out in July. We did have a total of 36 teams, which is 108 individual golfers. And after all was said and done, we were able to raise a little over $63,000 towards scholarships. That number's about $67,000 because we received a direct sponsorship from AT&T, which was a presentation to cover lunch for that day, which was close to $4,000. So I want to thank AT&T again for supporting us and paying for the lunch for all the golfers and the staff. I'd also like to thank all the individual and business donors who contributed to the golf tournament by way of either a team, breakfast, beverage, or a whole sponsor. What you have in front of you is the actual goodie boxes that were given out to the 108 golfers on that day. It's got goodies inside, water, some snacks. It's got the official cap. It's got the official towel. So there was some really nice things that were also presented. As well, you have in front of you the shirts that were worn that day by our staff and our volunteers. And there's also we call them a Fetty. It's the Yeti that doesn't have Yeti on the side of it, but they're a nice inscription of the actual tournament logo that was given to our donors of $2,500 or more. I also want to thank Student Services for that Friday, the day before. They sent over staff and students and assisted in packing these 120 boxes full of all the goodie stuff. You also I'd like to recognize and thank Madam Chair for showing up and spending the entire hot day with us, and it was extremely warm that day. Thank you to Dr. Pierce and your team for sending the EMTs out. So they did provide comfort, waters, and everything for everybody that needed them on that day. But I also want to thank the administration, faculty, and staff. Everybody that pretty much is in this audience assisted either on that day or at some capacity. So I want to thank them again, as well as yourselves as board and our foundation board just for the continued trust and the things that we're doing to make it great for our students to be able to come to school and to receive a scholarship from the foundation. Facilities was once again amazing. The day before with setup, bringing out the wood scorpions out of, I don't know where they came out of, but they were beautiful. They were parked right there in front of Rancho Viejo next to the car, so people could see that TSC was in the house and we had taken over Rancho Viejo for those 2 days. And then, of course, the Scorpion was also located where we had the award ceremony. So once again, thank you, thank you. I just can't thank everybody enough on that. On the screen, you see the top 3 teams that finished that day. First place was a team out of McAllen. This is the second year that they do participate. It's Valley Risk Consulting. Second place was Lone Star National Bank, and then third place was Mr. Abel Gonzalez and Rapid Testers, who came down and once again supported. So all of these are continued supporters. They played last year in our inaugural, and they were there again this year. I'd also like to thank a future golf star that we have in the audience with Mr. Luis Villarreal, our VP of IT, who did have a, there may be some support for you to hit the tour after your career here at TSC. But he did
I
have
witnessed it.
He
needs a lot of work.
Yeah, but he did have a closest to the pin on one of the par 3 holes where he received a $250 gift card. And thank you once again for giving that back to this foundation. I appreciate that, sir. But thank you all again. Thank you all again for yeah, I'm sure it is. Thank you again for the participation, and it was a great turnout, and I'm looking forward to our 3rd annual next year. Continuing, we started the new academic year with a couple of donations. Many of you may know Mr. Ruben Garcia. He's a retired State Farm agent here from Brownsville. He participated in the golf tournament on that Saturday. We had some discussion about the school and what was going on campus, and he was just thoroughly impressed. He says, "You're going to get a check from me." And so I said, "Okay." And so I told him I look forward to it. And sure enough, the following week, we received a $1,000 donation from him to go towards scholarships. And then, of course, Mr. Stephen De La Garza made his contribution for $20,000. So Dr. Fleischman, you've got $20,000 additional dollars for workforce training over with regards to welding, which is his passion. Finally, for September, in a couple of weeks, we will have our Foundation Board of Directors executive meeting on September the 28th. And then, of course, in October, we'll have our bi-monthly Board of Directors meeting on October the 26th. So if there's any questions, otherwise, this is the end of my report.
Mr. Tomlinson, I want to
ma'am.
thank you for bringing us all together, but I'm always amazed at how our family, because they're our family, just come together for any event that the foundation does. I mean, we had employees doing things all day long, and they were in the sun all day long. It's amazing how beautiful it is when the employees work together. It's a big family, and it was a lot of fun.
Yes, ma'am.
But thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. President. Making it happen.
It's a total team effort. It's trusting each other in what we need to do, and always that point of departure is about the students, because it circles back to the students and improving the lives. And I think what we're saying now is we're here to serve the entire family.
I was just thinking, as you all were talking, this is a foundation married to the college, and, I mean, we work together and we accomplish things.
It's amazing when you say every dollar goes to scholarships, it makes a difference. The people that donate understand that, and they're not stingy with their money, because along the way, we're picking up money at the
Wonderful.
golf tournament because of this or for that, and they reach in and they come out with their money. So it's really an experience to participate. I want to thank Mr. Salazar for driving me around and not dropping me. Thank you. You got a really nice golf cart. I enjoyed it.
Thank you, Mr. Tomlinson. Now it's time for this month's video highlighting the activities that have occurred since we last met. Please start the video. today, we are here to talk about a space network. Space Channel chose us. They're partnering with Texas Southmost College, coming onto our campus and recruit our students, our talent.
But the most exciting thing about this is the opportunity our students are going to have. Very, very happy to meet you, gentlemen, and thank you for choosing TSC.
What we want to do is to mentor these kids, show them, how to tell these stories, how to create content, to shoot, edit, graphics. When people look down to Brownsville, they say, wow, man, that is a place I want to be.
This came about because Mr. Herrera wanted to have tortillas de harina at TSC.
The fight was with Mr. De Leon, who wanted a big thing, and I wanted a small little cafe. And he was successful, and I'm so glad he was. Look at this.
So I know that this is the place where you guys are sending everybody in the back from Scorpions are going to be hanging out, and this is the place for you.
Thank you for the Board of Trustees for their continued support and investment, because it takes courage to make those investments. All right. I want to thank, again, the Board of Trustees for your continued support and commitment to our college and to our students, and a big thank you to all my colleagues for their dedicated service and moving forward. I know we started really strong this fall semester, and I know we're going to finish even stronger. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Item number 5, review of the Texas College Mission Statement, transforming our communities through innovative learning. And I'm going to call on Mr. Oscar Hernandez, Associate Vice President of Institutional Effectiveness in Educational Technologies, to present the item. When I'm done.
Long title, right? Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. President Rodriguez. Mr. Herrera, happy birthday.
Thanks so much.
I'm here to present the SAC-COC requirement of a review of the mission statement. Based on on the board's guidelines, we are to review the mission statement every 2 years, an even number of years. So I'm bringing it before you for your review and reaffirmation of it.
We need to vote on it, right?
I'm sorry.
We need to vote on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to.
Move.
Second. The motion is to review and reaffirm Texas Southmost College mission statement as written, and I have a motion by Mr. Herrera and a second by Ms. Alejandro. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Item number 6, consideration and possible action on the minutes of the following meeting, regular meeting of May the 19th, 2022. I'm going to take one at a time. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Motion by Mr. Herrera, second by Mr. De Leon. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Regular board minutes of the regular board meeting, August the 18th, 2022. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Alejandro. Second by Ms. Delia Science. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. What are we going to do with item number 6, Mr. President?
6A is approval of the previous minutes as corrected. Find the error on page 17.
Oh, okay. Okay, on approval, on item number 6, approval of the minutes of the 19th as corrected. You will find an error on page 17 of the previous approved minutes, and I would like to entertain a motion to approve the corrected minutes.
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Science, second by Ms. Alejandro. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. 6B, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of August 18, 2022. We already approved that one. Huh? Why do I have it twice? Finance Committee? Okay, I'll call on Mr. Ruben Herrera, the birthday boy, for his committee report.
Not every day that you're 37, but I don't know. Finance Committee met on Tuesday, September 6, 2022. President were Ms. Aldrete, President Rodriguez, myself.
We can't hear you, sir. Can you speak into
I
the mic?
apologize. You're not always and every day 37.
Oh, we heard
Finance
that.
Committee met on Tuesday, September 6, 2022. President were Ms. Aldrete, President Rodriguez, myself, and members of the TSC Administration College Legal Counsel. The committee discussed the following items. 7A, consideration and possible action on approval to increase the college work study and student worker hourly wage to $11 an hour. I will call on Dr. Figueroa to present.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. Before you and for your consideration is this item to increase our college work study and student worker rate. Currently, they're making $8.50 to $11 an hour. This is to remain competitive with wages.
I will move to approve the increase of the hourly wage for college work study and student workers' hourly wage to $11 an hour.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Herrera, second by Mr. De Leon. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Next item is 7B, monthly financial statement report for the month ending July 31st, 2022. I'll call on Dr. Figueroa and Mr. Pacero.
Thank you, sir. Once more, before you have the monthly financial statement report for the month of July of this year. And with your permission, Mr. Carlos Pizarro, our controller, will present the financial statements.
Thank you, Dr. Figueroa. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, good afternoon, and Mr. Herrera, happy birthday, sir. So we have the report for the month of July. I'll mainly concentrate my presentation here on this column labeled July. So I'll be going down the report just mainly down this column. As usual, my presentation will include 3 funds that we adopt a budget for. So I'll begin with the first of the 3. We will begin with revenue in the education and general fund. And we have a subtotal at the bottom of the first slide. And that is total revenue for the month of July, $1,733,195. Moving on to the next slide is where our expenditures category begin for general fund. We have 2 subtotals on this slide, one for salaries and wages of 1.5 million and one for benefits of 413,000. Moving on to the next slide is where the M&O category begins for general fund. And that starts on this slide, goes on through the next, and concludes here. And we can see a subtotal for the month of July, $1,070,000. Still in general fund, now we have a subtotal at the top of the slide here of $15,000 for travel, and then a subtotal here for the month of July of $100,000 in the general institutional category. So last slide for expenditures in general fund, and I'll draw your attention here to this number. The 3.8 million is the total expenditures in the month of July for general fund. So that's revenue and expenses for general fund. And moving on to the second of the 3 funds, this is auxiliary, and we have a subtotal for revenue in the month of July of 44,000. Moving on to the next slide is where the expenditures categories begin. We have 2 subtotals here on this slide, 108,000 for salaries and wages, 28,000 for benefits. So moving on to the M&O category in auxiliary fund, category begins in this slide and concludes on the following. So we have a subtotal for the month of July of 58,000 in the auxiliary fund for M&O. And this is the last slide for auxiliary fund, where we have a subtotal for travel, which we can see up here at the top, $700, and then a grand total for all auxiliary expenditures in the month of July, $196,000. So that's revenue and expenditures for auxiliary. And then this is the third of the 3 funds, which is our general obligation and revenue bond funds. So on this slide, we have a subtotal for revenue, $74,000 for the month of July. And on the next slide, we have our total expenditures for this same fund, $6,600. So that's revenue and expenditures for all 3 funds. Here on this slide, we have the detail for the health insurance benefits. We have 2 subtotals on here, one for general fund, which is 1.9 million, and one for the auxiliary fund, which is 147,000. The next slide has our fund balance. There's no change from the last time we presented this slide to the board. Again, the number here at the top ties to our audited financial statements, and the number here at the bottom, the 23 million, that's our estimated fund balance number. The last part of the report includes the debt service payment schedules, and there's no change to these tables since the last time we presented them to the board. And with that, Madam Chair, concludes my report. If there's any questions, I'd like to try and answer any.
Thank you, Mr. Pizarro. This item is for information purposes only. No action is required. Item 7C, Fund Balance Operation Report. I'll call on Dr. Figueroa to present it. Mr. Pizarro.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez, before you have the fund balance operating report, just as Mr. Pizarro mentioned earlier, our fund balance has not changed because there hasn't been any approvals to spend it. So therefore, the numbers of days that the college can operate without any additional revenue continues to be 132.96, almost 133 days.
Thank you so much. We're good. This item is for informational purposes only. No action is required. Any questions on this? Item 7D, Institutional Cares Expenditures Report. Dr. Figueroa.
Yes, sir. Before you have the CARES expenditure report for this month, which was a total of additional 54,594. That brings the grand total of expenditures at 12,000,000 to 52,598. The details of those 54,000, how they're spent, there are on the report provided. It has the vendors and amounts, quantities of the purchases done with CARES funds.
Do we have some monies left over on this funds, CARES Act?
We still have monies left over that are currently in budget for this fiscal year.
Earmarked, we will finish them when we have to.
Yes, sir. We will finish them by the deadline.
Thank you. Next item, 7E, grants awarded to Texas Southmost College for the month of August 22nd. I'll call on Dr. Figueroa and Dr. Angelica Fuentes.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. Dr. Fuentes will be presenting our grants for the month of August.
Thank you, Dr. Figueroa.
TSC Board of Trustees, Madam Chair, and Dr. Rodriguez, I'm here to present grants for the month of August. The first grant is a planning grant from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board for $50,000, and it's for us to prepare for a larger grant that's coming. The RFP is being released next month, so I'm working with Student Services on that grant. We also received, I'm happy to share that we received a grant from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board for $530,000 for equipment to build our laser welding lab and program. We also resubmitted a NOGA. We had to return some funds to the Coordinating Board for a Texas Completion Repayment Program, in which we did not have enough applicants that qualified to have their tuition waived. So we returned some funds, but we did spend about $70,000 of those funds. Next was just an extension of a one-year no-cost extension of a grant we received last year, Texas Talent Connection, I apologize. We also received another grant for reporting modernization to help Mr. Hernandez and his area for CB reporting. We also received an additional $10,000 from Vista, and that's going to help with marketing to give some student workers there in marketing. We also received an $11,000 grant which was there for the MOU signing from Becca's to help Mexican national students, and then an additional $4,500 from the consulate to help with staffing for informational pieces at ITEC. Do you have any questions?
Are those Mexican grants just for Mexican national students?
They are meant for Mexican national students, yes. They're scholarships.
Thank you. Mexican nationals meaning?
Born and raised, yeah, and citizens of Mexico. Mexican citizens.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No. Thank you so much, Dr. Figueroa. Dr. Fuentes, too. Next, this item was for informational purposes only. And, Madam Chair, this concludes my report.
Okay, item number 8, Student Services. I'll call on Ms. Sines to present the item.
The Student Service Committee met on Wednesday, September 6, 2022. Present were Dr. Rodriguez, myself, members of the TSC administration, and college legal counsel. The committee discussed the following item. Texas Student Leadership Summit in Austin, Texas. I call on Mr. Rene Villarreal and Dr. Armando Ponce to present.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Sines. Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. First and foremost, I want to thank the board and Ms. Garza for all of your support through all of our events. There's nothing more amazing than having everybody attend, and so I thank you for that. But to present the following item, I would certainly like to ask Dr. Ponce to present it.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Rodriguez. My presentation is a follow-up to a presentation that I did in May in regards to the Evolve conference that we did in April. And at that time, I mentioned that we were asked by the University of Texas at Austin to present at the Texas Male Leadership Summit this first couple of weeks of August on how we're successful in doing our regional summit. Now, this invitation is kind of recognition of all the good work that we've done here at TSC with the long history of leadership programming. And I want to thank the Board of Trustees and Dr. Rodriguez for the continued support and the funding for these programs that are definitely making an impact. And people around the state are definitely taking notice of all the good work that we're doing here at TSC. Now, when we traveled, what they asked me to do is they wanted us to share the model that we use. You know, what is this model that we use that makes us successful year in, year out? As I mentioned before, this is our 6th annual conference that we've done. Even through COVID, I'm very proud to say that our TSC community came together and we were able to do a virtual conference. And they invited us, and one of the points that they wanted me to make was how fiscally responsible we are as an institution, and specifically noting that it doesn't take $100,000 to do a great conference. It takes the quality people and community, which we have here at TSC, that really made it a success. Some of the key points that we shared at the conference were the history of the leadership program that we have here at TSC, how we've improved our conference through experience, how we've developed best practices, and those are the best practices that we shared there at the conference. Very happy to say that we had 2 of our staff attend that were co-presenters. I essentially laid the foundation. They took over and ran with it to show all the good work that they did, along with with the TSC family, to make it possible. One thing I also want to add is I want to thank the Board of Trustees again for funding us to be able to present the good work that we're doing, and also for allowing us to take a contingency of student leaders that represented TSC. As you see on the left, the majority of people that attended were universities. We were one of the few community colleges that attended, that were asked to present. And again, the staff that represented TSC very well. I also want to add and here's a picture of us presenting. We're glad that we had 24 people attend. We were competing with another workshop, and people started funneling into our workshop as it went by. And we had a great response, so much so that they had to kick us out. They had to say, you have to stop. And so the next sessions could continue. And we got a lot of positive feedback and a recognition of the good work that we're doing here at TSC. And just to share what I shared, the last slide that I shared over there was the response that we get from students when we do this type of programming, the word cloud when we do our surveys. So I'm open to any questions from the board.
No, sir.
Outstanding job.
Thank you for the opportunity.
This item is for information only. No action is required, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Item number 9, Academic Committee. Dr. Zavaleta?
Yeah, Academic Committee.
Yes, sir.
The Academic Committee, consisting of myself and Ms. Hines, met on Wednesday, September 7th. The committee discussed the following items. 9A, consideration and possible action on award of RFP 22-42 for a diesel tractor. And call upon Dr. Kyle.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Trustee members, President Rodriguez, and happy 37th birthday, Mr. Herrera.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. 37.
37, what a glorious year. This is for RFP 2242 for our diesel mechanics training program in the WTCE. This went out for RFP August 11th and 17th. It was publicized. We had the pre-proposal conference on the 18th, and along the way, we stand before you now. This is what we're requesting, a Kubota V3800. It is a new model, this was our evaluation committee, Mr. Tynan, Mr. Simon, Mr. Ramos, Mr. Padilla. Okay, I got it right. I've been here 5 years, I got it right. Awesome. And then these are the two companies that bid on that particular item. So we are standard evaluation criteria. This will obviously come from the True Grant, which is coming to an end. And we request that the board consider awarding the RFP to Elif Motors in the amount of $56,996.
Any questions? Ms. Sines?
No.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is it necessary to purchase a new tractor? Do we have to have a new tractor?
You want to answer?
There are lots of used tractors available.
The benefit of this particular model, sir, because it's new, it matches up with all of the new diagnostic equipment that we just purchased $57,000 for. So it will plug into that specific engine and work.
That makes sense, thank you.
Thank you.
There being no further questions, I move to award RFP 2242 for a diesel tractor to Elif Motors Kubota Tractor Corporation in the amount of $56,996, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute the purchase order contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Okay, there's a second.
I have a motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Mr. Herrera. Any discussion? I think we talked about that at the committee meeting, that why do we have a new one, so our students can work on new, because they're gonna go work on new equipment, right? Okay. All those in favor?
Okay, excuse me?
Against? All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item number 9B, consideration of possible action on approval of purchase of a compact tractor loader. Dr. Kyle?
Thank you, sir. Madam Chair, Board of Trustee members, President Rodriguez. The item you have before you is a request to purchase a compact track loader for the diesel program. When we went out to bid for the previous item, we had also gone out to bid for a boom truck, which no one could provide to us in the time that we have left and remaining on the grant. So in order to, as you requested, Mr. Herrera, spend the money of the grant, we have found a suitable replacement for that. It is on the buy board, and it is coming from the True Grant. And it is in the amount of $59,078. Sorry, I got my numbers wrong.
Any questions? Ms. Sines?
I know.
Okay, there being no more questions, I move to approve the compact truck loader purchase for the diesel program from Elif Motors Kubota Tractor Corporation in the amount of $59,078 through buy board contract number 597-19, and authorize President Rodriguez to execute and purchase the purchase order contract as presented.
Second.
A motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Mr. De Leon. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item number 9C, consideration of possible action on a memorandum of understanding for skills development fund proposals between TSC and companies within the TSC service area. Dr. Kyle?
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustee members, President Rodriguez, the item you have before you is essentially a template for creating a memorandum of understanding when we join into a skills development fund grant with a company in our area. Every time we partner with a company and we are asking the Texas Workforce Commission for funding through the Skills Development Fund, we create basically the same memorandum of understanding, except for inserting the company name and the representative that is authorized to sign on the memorandum of understanding. So we come before you to ask that we approve the template, and then anytime a company, we enter into a partnership with the company, then we will simply change the company name and the signature. This has been reviewed by legal and approved by legal.
Both legals?
Excuse me?
Both legals? No. Okay. I'm going to move to table it so that the other legal takes a look at it, and then we will have both legal representatives of the
Is that a
board.
different motion from the one that's on the table?
Well,
I don't have a motion yet.
okay.
I mean, I have a motion here.
Okay.
Maybe we can amend it to include what you're saying. But my question is, have our attorneys examined this memorandum of understanding?
I have, but Mr. Pettis has not.
Is there a reason why Mr. Pettis
Is
hasn't?
it acceptable? It's acceptable?
It's a template,
You're the
so the template is only good until we actually finally get a final version that's filled in, and then we review that as well.
Okay, all right.
But
All
here's
right,
the
so
question,
so I
why
move.
is Mr. Pettis not reviewing these contracts? That's my question here.
Well, he certainly can if that's what you wish him to do.
Well, that's what Mr. Herrera is saying.
No, he just asked about this one.
Well, this
hold
one in
on.
particular, is there a reason why Mr. Pettis didn't review it?
No, there's no particular reason. He can review it. Anything.
So then why do we need him to review it? So why do we need him to review it?
Because if the board wishes him to review it, he certainly can.
Mr. Herrera, what is your wish?
I wish,
You have a question?
no, I have a suggestion. I have
Go right
I have a
ahead.
request from you. I would like to table this item
Yes.
because I want the board attorney to review what they will be signing forever and ever and ever. I want to make sure that it's good. Not that I don't trust the school attorney, but we have a board
Well, I think
attorney.
that's reasonable.
And it needs to go to the board attorney too.
So we have a motion
I don't have a motion yet. Tell
Go
me.
ahead. Excuse me?
Tell me what
You have a
your-
motion already?
No. No, I don't have a motion yet.
I'm going to make a motion.
Okay.
To table this item
Okay,
until our attorneys have an opportunity to review it.
okay. Motion by Dr. Zavaleta to table the
Second.
item. Second by Ms. Sines. Discussion. Mr. Perez,
Yes.
this is acceptable to table the item and vote on it.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Me.
Motion, sorry.
Okay, item number
Motion
9D. Consideration and possible action on a clinical affiliation agreement with Texas Healthcare Imaging in Brownsville for Texas Southernmost College to add radiology technology program to our current agreement. Dr. McCormick.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta, and Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez, and happy birthday, Mr. Herrera. I didn't know
How many?
I didn't know we were the same age.
How
but-
many? 37.
Yeah. So this item is in addition to an existing clinical affiliation agreement we have with Texas Healthcare Imaging in Brownsville. The original affiliation agreement began in April of 2020, and it enabled TSC to place our diagnostic medical sonography program students at Texas Healthcare Imaging sites to complete their program clinical competencies, their internships. The addition adds TSC's radiology technology program to the existing or current agreement. It will enable our radiology technology students to use the site for their clinical experiences, to complete their clinical competencies by performing procedures with the direct supervision of the clinical coordinator. It also expands opportunities for them to see and interact with patients and other healthcare providers. This addition also has a Section 8, no waiver of immunity clause that we've been putting on these types of agreements now. And the agreement has been reviewed by legal counsel. It has the same expiration dates and so on. It renews yearly until one side decides they no longer are interested in it.
So is it basically a continuing
Has it been
agreement?
reviewed by
Continuing
both?
agreement.
Just the dates change, is anything else? changed?
Right. Nothing, the dates really haven't changed, but we just added a new program.
Okay.
So has this contract been reviewed by both council?
No.
See, so what? Here we go. Okay, that's just what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, then, let's see, where was I? I move to approve memorandum of understanding with Chamberlain University. Is that the one we're on? Or did I skip?
No, you're good.
I think I skipped down. I move to approve the clinical affiliation agreement with Texas Healthcare Imaging of Brownsville for the addition of radiology technology program and authorize President Rodriguez to sign the agreement.
I have a motion by Dr. Zavaleta. Second?
Second.
By Ms. Science. Discussion?
Yes. I would ask that any contract, any binding contract that we're going to enter into go through both legal counsels that we have from today forward. That would be my request and my suggestion.
Noted, sir.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Okay, item number 9E. Consideration action, possible action to approve a memorandum of understanding with Chamberlain University for the Masters of Science in Nursing students to obtain practicum experience in teaching. Dr. McCormick?
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta. Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, President Rodriguez, this next item I'm bringing for your consideration and approval is a memorandum of understanding between Chamberlain University and TSC. The MOU will allow Chamberlain University Master of Science Nursing students to obtain practicum experience by teaching at TSC in our ADN, or Registered Nurse Program. We will have our program director, Mary Kaspreisen, monitor the teaching. The MOU is for 1 year. It will renew automatically. It has been reviewed and approved by legal counsel as well. Chamberlain University has sites or campuses in 15 states, in Texas, in Houston, San Antonio, in the Dallas area, and so on.
Okay, questions? Any questions? There being no further questions, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding.
Can you wait till I have a
Chamberlain
motion,
University for the nursing practicum and authorize President Rodriguez to sign the agreement.
Okay,
I second the motion.
A motion by Dr. Zavaleta, second by Mr. Herrera. Discussion, Ms. Science.
How many of these teachers will be coming down to TSC?
One.
One right now.
One?
Right now, but it is a program recruiting tool. We'll hopefully get more teachers out of it. And more
Excuse
students
me,
come down
Delia,
in
for
the
not
future.
having asked you. Have you had a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
She did?
Yeah?
Okay. Any more questions?
Well, so will this review by both legal?
From now on, they will.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, sir. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Item number 9F, presentation on service learning projects by the architecture program at Texas Southmost College.
Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta.
Yes, go right
Madam
ahead.
Chair,
Please. Excuse me?
thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to, Dean Abusalam is going to present this item.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I asked Dr. Abu Salim to present because we hear, I'm out there and I hear, this is, oh, the TSC students did this, and the TSC students did this. So I said, Dr. Abu Salim, would you please tell the whole board, toot your own horn and tell us everything you're doing? And this is just a taste of what they're doing.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees members, Dr. Rodriguez. Thank you very much again for this opportunity. So, before I start, I just want to mention that the TSC architecture program is the first and the only program south of San Antonio that offer Associate of Science in Architecture, designed toward students, helping students to prepare for transferring to a professional degree, to acquire a professional degree in any of the schools in the state of Texas or beyond. We have students transferring all over the state, and even we have students transferring directly from TSC to Illinois Institute of Arts in Chicago a few years ago. Oh, sure. Sorry. Okay, like what? All right. So in alignment with the TSC mission in terms of transforming our communities through innovative learning opportunities The architecture program embarked on engaging our students in service learning projects. What I'm going to share with you just samples of those projects that we have conducted over the past few years. And of course, by default, as you engage the students in service learning, you're already creating this opportunity for them to have a hands-on learning experience, which help them foster and develop their skills, the marketable skills and the technical skills as well. But in order to conduct such robust program, we had to build strong relationship with our community partners. And that's why I mentioned we do have, over the years, developed strong relationship with various nonprofit organizations and city entities. And what you see here is just a list of some of those strong partners that we have with us currently, that we have worked with them in the past, and we continue to develop as we continue to evolve. And as we go through the presentation, I'm going to share just a few examples of some of these projects. But I just want to mention here before we continue the Lower Rio Grande Valley American Institute of Architects. We don't have any service learning project with them per se, but this is the institutions that basically present architecture profession or architects along the border in Texas, all the way from Brownsville to Laredo. They have had funded raised grant or scholarship program since 1994 for 28 years. But as soon as we established our program here at TSC, and after they saw what our students have been doing, they decided to dedicate a portion of that fundraised money to TSC every year since 2010. On average, our students receive about $2,000 in scholarship. This year, they just awarded $3,500 scholarship to 7 of our applicants. All the students who applied from our program received scholarship, each received $500. That will go toward their tuition at TSC from the AIA. So very grateful for that. Now, with that said, in a storytelling manner, I'm going to share with you some of these projects that we have started, and I want to emphasize the continuity of this relationship and how we can sustain it. So back in 2010, this is where we started our relationship with the City of Brownsville Planning Department. We had a group of our students touring the downtown historic district, including TSC campus. And they start looking into what's existing in downtown area. Many of those students that I've been working with them have never been stepped foot in downtown. They will drive through the downtown. They never notice the beautiful architecture that we have, the heritage that we have, the rich heritage that we have in the area, the landmarks that we have identified as historic buildings and so forth, and just the hidden gem that we have, like courtyards and so forth. After they did the tour, they went back, they did a lot of analysis, they start gathering photos, create collages, building models, and so forth. Long story short, by the end of this project, our students were able to produce different artifacts that were provided to the city, like digital maps that you can see here, color-coded maps that, for example, look into the usage of the buildings or the different levels of the buildings and so forth. They also were able to create these 3D renders of the whole downtown area, and you can see in the back far even the art center and art of the TSC campus, and also a physical model that you see in the very top left hand. So all these artifacts were actually products by our students throughout this project. Fast forward, talking about continuity. Obviously, the city was overwhelmed and excited about how wonderful the work that students have produced and the capability of our students and their skills. So they came back to us again to continue. So again, for 2011, another group of students embarked on looking into developing the 11th Street corridor, and they start looking into how we also can activate the alley project, or the alleys in between the buildings and so forth. So all the images that you see before and after. So you'll see, like, this is a group of students who looked into the intersection of Charles and 11th Street and existing condition, and then what they envision in terms of creating these murals and so forth. The alleys, same thing, moving into creating more vibrant space. Part of that project also was looking into some of the vacant buildings. The existing conditions, as you see in the bottom of the screen here on the left side, are some of the buildings that were owned by the city along 11th Street, across from the Market Square. So our students envisioned this kind of elaborate, painting, installing new windows, landscaping, and so forth and so on. The city obviously loved the idea, and they invested in some of these buildings. And what you see on the right hand of the screen is that exact space being activated by the city. And a few years later, another group of our students were actually presenting their work at that space. And this is the same space that the board recently have approved the memorandum of understanding with the city of Brownsville, where we're going to have our own service learning design studio in the heart of downtown. So this is, again, talk about the continuity and sustainability and strong relationship that we have with the community. So this is one partner, and we have done a lot of projects with the city, accumulated to about $7,500,000 worth of projects that have been already implemented by the city and were envisioned in our studios by our students. So we're very proud of that collaboration. Another partner that we have is CDCB, Community Development Corporation of Brownsville. Back in 2010, as a new program, we were trying to find this kind of build a seed, if you wish, with a partner that we can have our students engage in. We designed this house as a prototype for affordable housing. CDCB liked the design, they built it, and they took it to the next level. It became the first LEED certified home south of San Antonio, and it's for affordable housing. LEED stands for Leadership in Environment and Energy Efficiency Design. It's worldwide known certification or designation for green building kind of techniques. So obviously this set the stage for our students to be involved. Every year since then, our students will be at sites, helping with the construction of new homes for low-income families, meeting with contractors, interacting with them, and so forth and so on. They start designing, the students themselves start designing the new prototype of homes, and some of these designs will be chosen by the CDCB and built on their sites. Of course, another partner jumped on this opportunity, the Brownsville Housing Authority, which again, we have a very good relationship with them. Every year or so, we partner with either CDCB or the Brownsville Housing Authority. But because of our students' success and the quality of their product, the scope of these projects start to expand. The students are not just designing a house. Now they are going out and they are investigating the current situation of a whole entire neighborhood, like the Cameron Park area in Brownsville, in our backyard here. As you can see, they start taking pictures of what's existing there. Some of them were very kind of even shocked that we actually have these kind of dwelling conditions in our own backyard. They start looking to the whole development, all areas, looking back into our, again, rich architecture, historic buildings, identifying features and so forth, meeting with potential clients that were identified by the Brownsville Housing Authority or CDCB, listening to their desires, and then presenting their final products to a group of audience that will comprise of professional architects, city leaders, nonprofit organization, executive directors, and you name it. So from that, both CDCB and Brownsville Housing Authority start building homes that LEED certifiable, not necessarily certified, but they all have this green standards and green construction technologies. Fast forward. So we started our collaboration with CDCB in 2010. We had our first LEED certified house. 2019, one of our students, again, as part of our service learning, designed a new prototype, and CDCB built the house. And this time, it's not just LEED, it's LEED Gold, one of the highest. It's one less than the highest is Platinum, so we're just almost there. LEED Gold certification, again, the first LEED Gold certified house south of San Antonio, designed by our own student. His name is Gilbert Gonzalez. He did graduate. He transferred to Texas Tech University, and he graduated from Texas Tech with the highest grade or highest honor from his master program, and now he's working in Austin in one of the prestigious architecture firms. So again, we continue to work with both entities, and we're trying to find more and more opportunities like that. Another partner that we have worked with them over the years is the Brownsville Wellness Coalition. Back in 2014, The executive director of that nonprofit organization came to our students. They are meeting with them, they're listening. And again, I'm bringing this up and I'm showing the picture to kind of highlighting or emphasizing how the students are actually physically engaged in communication, building models, drawings, producing all these artifacts which require them to improve their skills, both marketable and technical skills as we go through. So January 22nd, they met with the executive director. February 14, that's what, 18 days? Or no, I don't, forgot to, yeah, 18 days. They are out, yes.
In the model home that you showed, how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms in that home?
So those model homes, sorry, how will you go back?
Go back to one of the model homes,
Thank you. One more.
right there.
Yeah, so those model homes, this one in particular, sir, it has 3 bedrooms. They fluctuate 2 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms with a garage and the dining area and the living area and so forth. But
Did you answer? I can't hear.
yes, sir, there are 3 bedrooms.
How many bedrooms?
3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
And two baths, yes, sir. Yes, good size homes,
Okay,
yes.
I can't complain about
The square footage for this one is about 1,500, if I'm not mistaken, it's up there in the top. I can't read
I was
you.
gonna complain, but I'm not. But I'll let you know what it was. It seems to me in looking at that, and these families, these are low-income families, and many of them are double and triple families with grandparents and other people living in the house. And that's an awful lot of wasted, in my opinion, a wasted space in the garage that could be used. And of course, they can turn it into a bedroom if they like. But that was my comment.
And that's a valid point, sir. But as I said, the students were listening to the client or the customers, and most of them, they want a garage. It's part of for them, this is like, I made it kind of, a big show. So those are customized homes based on what the faculty or the customers need. So it depends. But they fluctuate with 3 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Does that conclude your?
I have 3 more.
Please,
Thank you.
continue.
So the community garden, February 14, you can see here the group of students presenting their work in group, again in front of the audience. We have them integrate and engage in communication with the representative from the Brownsville Wellness Coalition and the city and the general public. Faculty will participate, as you can see there. Then they went out. They actually built these community gardens. One of them, this one is behind the Skinner Elementary. This one is by Folk Middle School. And most of these community gardens, because they are near the schools, our students design little plots for the middle school students and elementary school students to be there. Part of this outcome here, talk about the impact that we have on the community. This particular site is owned by the Brownsville Housing Authority. What you see here is a picture of the tenants that were living adjacent to this lot. And because of the success of it, the Brownsville Housing Authority decided to build a community garden in every new development that they will design. The last project that I'm going to share with you, again with the Brownsville Wellness Coalition, is the mobile truck. This is a mobile truck that the Brownsville Wellness Coalition is used to take the fresh produce to different sites of the city throughout the year. Again, images of our students, not just designing it, but building it together as a team, building their skills, welding, painting, and so forth. And this is the end result. As of now, the Brownsville Wellness Coalition used this truck to go to 11 sites throughout the city to provide the fresh produce to the community. And actually, this year we had it come into our own camps. So as part of this whole, these initiatives and many more, we have many articles written about the program in different, times. One of the projects that I didn't mention in my presentation was the West Trail Hike and Bike Trail, and because of that, our own students from TSC were actually took their project and presented at UT Austin side by side with the graduate level students over there. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's wonderful work. This is an information item only. There's no action required. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair, I have a comment.
Okay, then,
Yes.
Madam Chair, that,
Wait, 1 second. She's gonna.
Dr. Mussolini,
Please.
I don't know if you were aware that you were in the news, or our students were in the news last night on Channel 5.
Yes, ma'am.
They were helping a man, I think a gentleman, that his house was not, decent enough to live in, and so they were helping out, so they mentioned the TSC students.
Yes, that was from the construction group. So now we're trying to duplicate this kind of service learning, and now we have the construction group doing service learning, and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah. Ms. Claudia Carr sent it to us via email. You didn't get it? Eva?
I don't know.
Oh.
I might have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to move on to the Facilities Committee and offer this report in the absence of Ms. Aldrete. The Facilities Committee met on Tuesday, May 6th. Present were Ms. Aldrete, Chair Garza, President Rodriguez, myself, and staff. Item number 10A. And I'm going to call upon Dr. Figueroa.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Zavaleta.
Go
Madam
right
Chair.
ahead.
And President Rodriguez, before you, we have the facilities update, and with your permission, Mr. Jaime Salazar will present the updates.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Trustee members, President Rodriguez. We will go through the facilities project updates. We have 75 updates. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Mr. Herrera. I know it's your birthday, sir. I'll get you out of here quickly. We're going to be going over these 7 items fairly quickly. The iTech Village roof renovation project status. The re-roofing work continues to be in progress. The joist replacement work continues. For milestones, electrical work inside the building is scheduled to start this month. And the project completion date is still estimated by the end of October. Here's some of the pictures there. You can see a lot of the joist replacements. On the campus parking lot project status. So the demo work has started in R1, Leitner, and Tandy parking lot areas. R2, the old education parking lot work is about 90% done. Students, faculty, and staff have been notified about alternate parking during the construction work. R3, the north and south parking lots, you'll see a picture of it right now, has been completed and is already in use, and the project will continue moving along as scheduled. We're still estimated in the fall of 2022 for completion of all the projects. We'll show you some pictures here. That's the current area that is under construction, and here are some of the pictures as they've been working through. Obviously, those pictures are not this week. It's been raining quite a bit, so it has slowed them down a little bit. However, they are doing a tremendous job. The work is coming along nicely, and the results are just incredible. The courtroom and criminal justice program project status. So the plumbing work is now in progress. The installation and electrical work continues. The courtroom furniture and millwork is in progress now as well. And the jury and the gallery seating will be outsourced, and that will be brought to the Board of Trustees in October 2022.
I want to participate in that selection, please. Please keep me in the loop.
Yes, sir.
I've asked 3 different board meetings, and you're already finishing this.
You shall be.
Please. Yes, sir. Will do. Absolutely. And the courtroom furniture millwork should be finished by the end of October.
Please.
Yes, sir. Will do. Here's some of the photos and some of the work being done out there. Oliveira Student Services Center, second floor cafeteria project. As you will know, the project has been completed. The grand opening was held on August 31st, and the Scorpion Cafe is now open for business. Here are some of the photos. Oliveira Student Services Center, second floor restroom additions project status. The work is in progress. Demo will start the first week of September. That has begun. And the project completion estimated date is December 2022. Schematic we've seen. The Rustenburg Building repairs project status. The final inspection was scheduled on Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. The project was completed on August 26th. Those are some of the initial photos we had seen, and we have some of the upgrades here in the final project. After these current rains, we went out there, and the French drains are working great. The Jacob Brown rigging project status continues as well. Rigging work is at about 90% complete. The electrical lighting work will start in September of 2022. The project completion date is still at the end of October. Some of the lightings on the rigging. And that completes our
Yeah.
facilities update. Any questions?
The Jacob Brown, you went so fast. The
what?
The Jacob Brown, go back.
The rigging?
Yeah. The completion is October, right?
Yes, we're still tentative for October now. There's some electrical issues that are coming up, so we'll see if there's any delays there, but as of now, with the rigging itself, we're good.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Madam Chair, I would like to propose, if the board and the chair would agree, to create a subcommittee for the creation and the development of the court. Subcommittee that would consist of myself and Ms. Sines, since we are the persons who have the closest relationship with courtrooms. We want to participate in that. So I would ask the chair, allow us to participate as a subcommittee only in that.
We established that. We already established that, Mr. Herrera. We went to look at the courthouse.
But, I mean, we're almost finished and I've yet to talk to no one. Or Ms. Sines.
Okay. Will you please add?
Excuse me, I couldn't hear. I have an equipment failure. I couldn't hear what you said.
I'm asking to create a subcommittee to look and oversee the courtroom creation. They're almost finished with it. They've extended RFPs, RFQs, contracts, and we have not even been asked to join or to be
participate.
there or participate.
Okay. Seems reasonable.
What? Okay.
That completes, there's no action to be taken. That was informational. And that completes the facilities report.
Thank you, Dr. Zabaleta. Mr. De Leon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Policy Committee meeting met on Tuesday, September 6, 2022. President were Mr. Herrera, Chair Ms. Garza, President Rodriguez, members of the TSC administration, College Legal Counsel, and Board Legal Counsel. Mr. Herrera, would you please present this item?
Your Honor. Yes. Consideration possible action on the approval of the following local policy, ECC and EDA. I will call on Mr. Peña to present the item.
Madam Chair, members of the board, President Rodriguez. Before you, you have two policies that we're asking you to approve. ECC local. This is actually one that is already on the books. It deals with the course load the students must take. Shall be, the normal course load is to be 15 semester hours. Course loads in excess of 16 semester hours require approval of the divisional dean. The maximum course load is no more than 21 semester hours. And it also discusses the course load for summer session. The limitation on the number of drop courses is set forth in there. Students shall not be permitted to drop more than 6 courses while enrolled in the college district or in any other public institution. For the limit to apply, the student must be permitted to drop the course. You see the 1, 2, 3 there. The student transcript must indicate or will indicate the student was enrolled in the course, and the student must not have dropped the course to withdraw from the college district. There are exceptions for a good cause, and they're listed there, mainly having to do with sickness, illness, death, things of that nature. Number 8 is the only one that has a change. Disaster declared by the governor prevents or limits in-person course attendance for a period determined by the college districts in accordance with law, significantly the student's ability to participate in coursework that allows the student to drop. That's another exception. The final exception, qualifying enrollment may drop a 7th course in accordance with law, and of course the exception for COVID. Then the final item there is the president is to develop those procedures, which basically is the policy itself. The other policy is EDA local. That one is a very short one. It just discusses the college president shall establish procedures for adopting, reviewing, and changing course materials, including textbooks. This procedure shall incorporate faculty participation. Those are the only two policies that we have for you this evening. We ask that you adopt those.
I move to approve the local policies as presented by the administration.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Herrera, second by Mr. De Leon. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We are done. Okay. Yeah, we're done.
Yes.
Okay. The board will now convene an executive session as provided by Government Code, Chapter 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. We're now in executive session. Back from executive session, I will entertain a motion from executive session. Ms. Sines?
I have a motion. I move that the board approve the salary schedule for fiscal year 2022, 2023, as discussed in executive session.
A motion by Ms. Sines. Second by Mr. De Leon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Mr. De Leon?
Madam Chair, I move that the board approve the TSC strategy priorities for the fiscal year 2023.
A motion by Mr. De
Second
Leon.
the motion.
Second by Mr. Herrera. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. And we are done. That's it, no?
Yes.
Where's the fax?
Announcements, next regular board meeting, October the 20th at 5:30, and November the 17th at 5:30. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Herrera, second by Ms. Sines. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We stand adjourned.